Hey folks, man, this is Monk, and we are back with another episode of From the Canopy Film Show. And I'm joined as always with my co-host. We got Cornelius, aka Evil Corny.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, man? So we got some films to review for you folks. It's been kind of slim pickings right now, this time of year. We do got some big things on the way. I think Gladiator 2 is dropping this week, but we'll be talking about what we've seen since then. And the first one I'm going to start with is a sci-fi action film called Elevation. This film is directed by George Nofi, and in this film, post-apocalyptic survivors find refuge in the Rocky Mountains to hide from giant insect-like creatures that can't live above 8,000 feet. However, when one needs life-saving supplies, they risk it all to venture into the danger zone. Stars Anthony Mackie. It's also got Maddie Hassan and Morena Baccarin. And for the most part, I thought this film was okay. I'm probably going to maybe, if I got to put a rating on it, I'm probably going to give it about a 3.5. I mean, it's a entertaining enough sci-fi action film. The premise is a little interesting, but they don't really explain much. But it is post-apocalyptic era, so these people are staying around someplace in Colorado, out in the Rocky Mountains. And as I said in the synopsis, these things that are out after them, these creatures, they're almost like some kind of mechanical beasts. They're big, man, big and nasty, pretty much rip you apart. Seems to be attacking any human life form moving in this place. I say human because there are some like packs of wild horses out here, and I'm like, these horses seem to be thriving, so why are these things just pounced on them? But for some reason they're after the humans. According to the lore in the film, these things originated underground, but since they're above 8,000 feet, they're fine. So Mackie's son has a chronic lung issue, so basically he runs out of filters for his respirator treatment or whatever, so he's got to go back in down to I think Boulder, maybe, basically in town where the hospitals are. And it seems like these areas had to be evacuated real quick, so a lot of stuff is still intact, I guess, before these machines started taking people out. And apparently the mom actually died, kind of doing the same kind of mission, going in, so he recruits characters to go with them. Morena Baccarin's character joins up with him, and interestingly enough, I think she was with the mom when she died, on one of these missions. And then Maddie Hassan's character, she joins up with them, so they three take off on this mission, which is tough to try to get the supply. So for the most part, they're staying above the 8,000 feet line. They do got to go below that. That's where the hospital rests. But so they figured out a path, and there's a few points where they've got to, kind of dip into that lower realm to get to there, on the way. So it does, action wise, I think it's pretty solid. The effects are pretty solid. The suspense is pretty good. It does a good job maintaining that throughout the course of it. But, otherwise, it's a film like I watched it and I didn't hate my time with it. The time went by pretty cool. And for the most part, I was entertained, but I don't think it's something that I'll be going out of my way to see again. It's going to come out and I'm going to be like, all right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I feel like this is something they could have dropped in February or straight to streaming. It has a little bit... The production value and the stuff is a little bit higher than some of these Netflix films, like what I'm talking about, like something like the Bird Box or something like that. It just has a Netflix feel to it. So this is probably sitting around that range or a little bit better done, but nothing really stands out that's super like, oh my God, you must see this, but it's decent enough, Saturday night, Saturday afternoon viewing fare,
Yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting because what everybody's been everything I've heard about it, they said it was a neat Netflix type film, straight to home video, and it kind of surprised me that it's being released so heavy. I think it might have had like a viewing, like one or two shows in my area, but I didn't have time to go and see it.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes some of these things too on the back end, they might have contractual obligations to release, no matter how it comes out, and they just wedge it in, because I don't even think they even advertised this thing. I haven't seen no trailers. It just popped up, and I'm like, all right, I think the first thing I saw about it was on social media, You know, and it wasn't even a post from the studio or anything. It was just some person talking about it. So my next one is going to be a film called Juror #2. This is directed by Clint Eastwood. My man is still going. This is crazy. And in this film, a juror for a high-profile murder trial finds himself struggling with a serious moral dilemma that could influence the verdict and potentially convict or free the accused killer. This film stars Nicholas Hoult, got Zoe Deutch, Gabrielle Basso, Toni Collette, Francesca Eastwood, and Kiefer Sutherland in this as well. We also got Leslie Bibb, Cedric Yarbrough, wow, Chris Messina. Last time I seen him, he was telling Black Dynamite that he sells drugs in the community. He's got also J.K. Sims in this thing, Amy Aquino, Takako Fukuyama, and there's more people in this. So what do you think about this?
Really thought this was an interesting film. Not to spoil anything, it was like what happened is Nicholas Hoult's character is a struggling alcoholic with a pregnant wife. He gets selected for jury duty, and he finds out that he might have committed the crime the accused is on trial for. I'm a big fan of Clint Eastwood in his directing and everything. It's kind of a simple movie, but it's real heavy drama in this. Nicholas Hoult is kind of down himself because the night this incident happens, he thinks he hits a deer. The more and more he finds out about it, he pretty much knows he might have committed this crime. And it's just him kind of struggling with, like his alcoholism and that. I really enjoyed this film. I think this might be one of Clint Eastwood's last films, but it's like it was a very limited release at the end of October, but I was able to check it out. Hopefully it's up for some awards because I think Nicholas Hoult did good. I really think Clint Eastwood did good. It wasn't anything overdone. Like some of these like crime type dramas kind of can get over budgeted and everything. I just think it's among like Clint Eastwood's better films that he's directed. And I kind of hope it's kind of recognized during, this award season.
My next one is going to be a film called Heretic. And in this film, two young missionaries become ensnared in a deadly game of cat and mouse when they knock on the door of the diabolical Mr. Reed. Trapped in his home, they must turn to their faith if they want to make it out alive. This has two directors, actually. It's directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods. And this cast includes Hugh Grant, Sophie Thatcher, Chloe East, and Topher Grace. And I had a really good time watching this film, man. One thing that stood out to me is it's kind of it does have a horror thriller vibe to it, but I would say it's more thriller. I think you got to throw the horror in because there are some pretty gory scenes and that are kind of a little bit intense. But for the most part, man, I think what drew me in was the conversational aspect, man, because they're Mormon missionaries, so they kind of go out into the city. We see them in the beginning, kind of having philosophical conversation real quick, and then they're kind of just bumping around, going through this town, talking, trying to get random people to talk to. Most people are brushing them off, but apparently they have an appointment, with this guy at his house. So they ride their bikes, they're on bikes, so they ride their bikes up to his property, which is kind of tucked away. It looks like in this. They got to cut through some woods a little bit. It's kind of away from, the main part of town. But it's a really big, old school style, kind of spooky mansion, bro. Like a house like this would just be weird to, if you lived in it, you might be used to it. But just approaching it, you'd be like, man, this thing's kind of weird. It's not like it's run down. It's not like the Ed Scissorhand house. Everything looks neat and clean, but it's just huge, man. Just really old. But, they go in and he invites them in, I think they kind of pointed to this in the trailer. I think I saw the trailer this one time and, their rule is, we can't come in unless another woman's present. He's like, oh, my wife's in the, kitchen, cooking, baking a pie or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So this dude, man, it's sneaky and they agree. I was like, all right, whatever. So, he's like, oh, she doesn't want to come out, but she brought these snacks for you, gives them some coffee and tea or whatever. And meanwhile, this dude's got a candle in the back, blueberry scented candle that smells like, but like little things, or not actually, little things like that. So he's being deceptive, man, and ultimately he traps them in there, man. And and the game is they've got to go along with this conversation, and I guess basically he's trying to test their faith, man. He's a kind of He's kind of an atheist in a way, you know. He's just one of these guys. At least that's how the conversation's going, and that part was kind of interesting to me, man. I think the made up conversation that these characters were had was definitely drawing me in and piquing my interest. You know what I'm saying? And the way they were reacting to them, responding to them for their Mormon point of view. He's even bringing up some of the questionable aspects of the Mormon religion, you know, that I thought kind of interesting, you know, but ultimately, they realize they're trapped by this guy, and they've got to, you know, figure out how to get out of here. But I thought the performances were really good, man. That's probably the biggest part about this that I really like. I thought you know, what we got from these characters was really cool. Hugh Grant, I really haven't seen him anything recently, and I had a good time watching him play this bad guy that was kind of, you know, testing them, and you know, you could tell he was having fun, man. And as well as the other women actors that were acting off of him, they were really good too, man. You know, his potential victims, man. But I definitely enjoyed this one, the thriller tip, man. I recommend it, man, if you are, you know, into these type of films. You know, definitely check it out, man. I think they did a solid job. It's not really breaking much new ground, in my opinion, on anything, but it's very well made, and I think I appreciate it for that, man. You know, the cinematography is real good, man. There's kind of an interesting scene where he's got like this wild, pretty much a model of this area that he has these women trapped, man. And there's this crazy transition later on in the film where they kind of come from a part of this house and kind of blend into this model. The way they put this together is really cool, man. The way they shot that, man. So yeah, it was a surprise, man, because like I wasn't expecting much, you know, but the buzz was going pretty good, you know. Once I looked onto the you know, some of the reviews, and just to see if they could nudge me into taking an interest, and I'm glad I took the time to check it out. Next one is going to be The Substance. This is directed by Coralie Fargeet. And in this film, Elizabeth Sparkle, renowned for an aerobics show, faces a devastating blow on her 50th birthday as her boss fires her. Amid her distress, the laboratory offers her a substance which promises to transform her into an enhanced version of herself. And this film stars Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley, Dennis Quaid. We also got Hugo Diego Garcia, Oscar Lesage, and I think most of these are going to be cast members on the show. So yeah, we got a pretty small cast on this thing, at least our principal people. So you know, but for the most part, man, I really enjoyed this film. I saw it in the theater a few months ago, and what impressed me most was just the it's kind of like a film with a lot of heavy social commentary, man. It is kind of really wild body horror going on with this thing as well. But I think for me, what stands out mostly is the social commentary, kind of making comments on how Hollywood disposes of, you know, once you get older, man, it's almost like you got a shelf life, man. If you can't transition, especially on a thing like this where we're looking at someone who's doing an aerobics instructor show, and it's weird that these shows aren't around anymore. I wonder what's up with that. Like, I feel like there's prime room for that, but I don't know. Maybe people are getting this stuff from the internet now or Instagram with these fitness influencers. But it's pretty much someone who had a show like Denise Austin or Jane Fonda's, you know, when she had the workout tapes, or Flex Appeal, you know, those kind of shows. And she gets older, her ratings start to decline, and they pretty much push her out, you know, for her producer who you get the idea that they both were neck and neck with their careers. Like, she made him, you know what I'm saying? And now tables turned and he's pushing her out, you know, for younger talent. So she gets this offer. It's crazy. She goes to the doctor. This kid passes her a card. It's in the doctor's office. Pretty much, hit this number up. I forgot what he says to her, but you know, eventually she checks it out, and basically they're offering her a way for her to maintain her youth, and it's a really crazy way. Like, this system is wild, man. I got questions that the film doesn't answer, but it's cool. It's not like that ruins the film, but I just like how much does this cost? Like, things like that, you know. But she's made a lot of money with her career. Like, for her,
it
not
doesn't
really
seem like it costs anything, but it pretty
somebody's getting paid, man.
It gives you a new. Money's never mentioned, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But what's interesting is, it's for her. It's not even really about the money. She's made a ton of money in her career, but like I said, the commentary is like why does she have to? Why is she just useless now because she's aged out? Like, there's no other role in this entire entertainment company for her to take on. Like they're not even offering her a producer position on the show. Like, that's kind of crazy. And then the other side of the commentary is how they also bring in new talent and just chew them up and grind them down, a lot. So that's where Quayle's character comes in a way. Like, I feel like I don't want to get into detail of exactly what's going, because I think a lot of the surprise with this film is in that, man. Like the less you know, the better. But just know that she's agreed to take on this system. And it kind of backfires, man. It kind of is a system that takes away from you as much as it gives, man. And I'll leave it at that. So what stood out to me definitely is these performances. It's great to see Demi Moore in here getting a chance to shine. In a way, this film is kind of, by even being made, is kind of bucking the system. The idea of doing this with an actress that kind of fell off, honestly, man. The only time I hear about Demi Moore lately was her taking care of Bruce Willis, when he got his diagnosis. So to see her come back in the film and be great and deliver one of the best performances of the year, man, I think that's amazing, dude.
Yeah, one of the things that's kind of crazy about this film, though, is there's nothing wrong physically with Demi Moore right now. She might be older, but physically, that's one of the main problems I had with this film. I'm not, and I'm not saying that she hasn't aged, but she's, for her age, she's still a knockout.
But it's the thing though, it's a
mental insecurity.
Yeah, even you look at someone like Denise Austin or even Jane Fonda, they were making these type of stuff late in their career. What I'm saying?
Yeah,
when that industry was booming. So yeah, it is weird, man. But for the movie,
But overall, I like the film. There's a lot of body horror in it, more than you would think that was in this film. It's I would say this is science, like heavy science fiction.
I would say sci-fi.
Yeah, and somewhat a dark version of dark comedy in a way, because it's you don't really take what's going on, more or less a satire. It's a real serious subject that's happening in it, but it's kind of told somewhat light in parts of it. But I really like the performances in this, and
it's crazy.
I was glad it wasn't spoiled to me before I saw the film and everything.
Yeah, it's crazy because even with the body horror, the grossest scene in the film is just Dennis Quaid eating a bowl of shrimp. I'm just like, get this off of here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does some crazy stuff, man. This is definitely one that I'll add to the collection, man. I'll probably, end up checking it out. Maybe once a year, just throw it on and soak up the madness. Because like I said, man, it's one of these things too. It starts off and then it builds slowly, and then once it gets going, you're just in that joint, just sizzling, like damn, what is even happening? And it's nuts, man. It's just a wild story, wild premise, but I think the ultimate appeal of it definitely does have a really strong, relevant message that it hammers home.
Yeah, I was going to see the Heretic on Veterans Day, but it was just one of those. It was so crowded around Birmingham that day because everybody was off of work. I didn't want to, really deal with a crowd in the theater, so I just stayed at home that day.
Yeah, but man, the day that I went to see Elevation, though, bro, they was testing me, man. Like it's like, man, I don't know what it was, dude, but it was like. It was crazy, man. So it was a few people in there, man, for Elevation. I don't know what was going on. This was this past Monday, right? So I'm in there, and there are special needs, people sometimes that come to the theater. I feel like it's a spot where their caretakers bring them. I don't know if the people themselves are requesting to see these films, or maybe this is part of the routine of the caretakers, and they just like, all right, man, we got to do something with them, so I'm gonna bring them here. But dude, it was like, man, it was probably like 12, 14 of these people in here at the same time, man. Which is all right, whatever. it was cool. But man, one of them was just mad vocal, bro, and he just could not. Almost left, bro. Like it was crazy. I was like, you know what? This is a lot. Like my man was just randomly like just. And I was, it was messing me up because I'm watching this movie. And there's some scenes that are, they're creeping around and trying to avoid these monsters, and randomly you just hear oh, and I'm like, bro, you're messing up the timing of this. Like I'm already, suspenseful. So he has outbursts, and this confuses me because I'm expecting the film to try to hit me with a jump scare, but instead it's this kid going on. I'm like, man, this is wild. Like I definitely feel like everyone should be able to enjoy the movies, man. But you gotta know what your people are doing. If you got someone that's pretty vocal, then that's kind of wild, bro. I don't know. If
I'll never forget like
entertainment.
my last bad experience like that in the theater. I was around two people that were overly hyped about like the last Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. And they were like having a discussion while they were watching the movie. And it wouldn't have bothered me, but I was sitting right next to these two women. And just about everything on the screen, they had discussed what was going on. And I'm saying to myself, I enjoyed that movie. Overall, I enjoyed the movie. I kind of tuned them out. But it got to me. You know what I'm saying?
If they right next to me, I gotta say something, man. I didn't feel like I felt bad if I was going to say something to this kid. So I was just like, he can't really help himself. But also, I was kind of upset that the care person, decided this was, like I'm like, all right, man, like dang, I know some theaters do have days for, I forgot what they call them, sensory days or whatever, where it's fine if you got, but that sucks because they don't offer that for all kinds of films. Usually those are reserved for like smaller, younger children, like with something like a Toy Story or something like that. Every film doesn't get days like that. So I just kind of ate it, man. I was like, man, I feel like the asshole. Almost left, but he calmed down. He actually settled down a bit. He didn't get completely quiet, but he stopped doing it long enough where it was just not. I was like, all right, I was able to immerse myself into the film and finish, but I was this close. I was like, man, I could just come back.
I'm gonna tell you the other time that this kind of hit me hard and kind of ticked me off. I went to see Super Mario Brothers movie. And there was a adult talking to their kid during that movie. And I'm saying to myself, the kid probably wouldn't, the kid was talking about stuff, but it was a reaction to the adult asking questions. And I'm saying to myself, dude, if you just be quiet, the kid wouldn't say anything. Yeah, but then at one point, the kid was having a fit about something. But, I kind of remember the guy starting to question with the kid before the kid would talk. And I was saying to myself, you kind of, even I enjoyed that movie a lot, but that kind of ruined that movie.
It was kids when I saw Mario, they was going off, but it was more like, oh my God, Shy Guy.
Yeah.
Just recognizing characters. I was like, all right, this is a kiddie movie. I expect that. That ain't.
But having a discussion with your kid, is a little too much.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I think we could probably get around and wrapping this up, man. We've got Gladiator 2 coming out. I'm really hyped for that. What's his name is? What's funny now? He's becoming that guy. I don't know if it's weird, man. I get the impression him and James Cameron, they just and what's his name too, especially Carpenter, man. He went out like that. Where they do press, but it's like they kind of get annoyed at people asking them shit, and it's kind of funny seeing their reactions. It's like
there's one thing about James Cameron. Russell Cameron just he'll tell you what's exactly on his mind, and then come back around and make $1 billion on a film. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But yeah. I think that's it, man. So like I said, we got Gladiator 2. I'm hyped for that. What's the name also comes out too, man? Wicked. I might just go see that too. I got the time just to get that in. I hear a good buzz on that as well. It's got a really good critic score, and it's crazy. This is based on the musical version of this Broadway play. And I thought it's dope that they went and got two of the best singers, casting as like real singers. So I expect those musical numbers to really be amped up. And it looks like they spent a lot of money on this thing, with the design and the production design and effects and all that stuff. So So yeah, I'll definitely be checking that out. I don't know what else we got, man. This month is dry, but
Yeah, that's the last two films, big films this month.
yeah. So when is that Moana 2 gonna come out this year or?
I thought it was Friday also, or next Friday. I think it might be Thanksgiving. Day before Thanksgiving, that's coming out.
Okay. You're not gonna see a Red One?
I've been hearing so many horrible things about it.
Yeah, this is crazy though. The critic score is pretty high, but yeah. So November 27th is going to be Moana 2, so that's next week. Then we got, which is crazy. I guess there is a teaser trailer out there. We just now found the Oh, you know what? Never mind. It's not a teaser. I think we got a set photo of the live action version. They got a photo out there of the Rock.
Yeah, they started production on that this week.
Yeah. So we also get Sonic 3 that's coming out December, and Mufasa is coming out in December as well. So
Nosferatu is the biggest film that I want to see in November. I mean in December. Yeah, I think that comes out on Christmas Day.
Yeah. Boom. Also, Werewolves. That's going to be interesting. That was got some good buzz.
Werewolves.
Yeah, that's going to be. I think that's the new one. It's the new Wolfman joint.
Oh, that's just called Wolfman. Yeah, that's a Wolfman.
Oh, okay, my bad. So Werewolves is something else. That has Frank Grillo starring in that. Boom. So I don't know if that's going to be the same quality of film that I'm expecting. So. All right, but yeah, I think that's it, man. Gonna wrap this up. Also, if you never saw Interstellar in the theaters, you get a chance because that's getting re-released. It's going to be an IMAX exclusive.
Okay, when are they really dropping that this weekend?
I'm not sure, so I got to look up. See, it's just on the Interstellar IMAX. Looks like it's playing now. Actually,
okay.
No. Actually, it looks like it's coming up on Friday, December 6th. So it might be a
okay. We count the next. Okay.
Yeah, so it might be a one-day deal, or actually, no. I think they might be running it for a week. Yep, that's what it looks like. At least about a week.
Man, but doing that in December,
that's a perfect time. Everybody's just shopping.
So I would have done that. I would have dropped that like in February. Well, not this February because you got Captain America coming out, but during a dead month, I want to drop that. Like they need to re-release Tenet. I think they did that a couple months ago, but I wouldn't mind seeing that in IMAX because I wasn't able to see that because of the pandemic.
I feel like the people that want to see it, they're going to see it. Well, yeah. Well, I think that's it, folks, man. We can wrap this up. Catch us on the next episode, and we'll be back soon with more reviews for you, folks. And you catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter and Instagram.
You can find me on Facebook, Cornelius Bros, on Instagram, Cornelius Bros, on Blue Sky as Evil Corny. I drop Twitter or X or what all that shit is.
I was never on there.
You were never on Twitter?
You were never on there.
Oh.
Corny signs up for social media and don't use it.
Well, but I'm also on TikTok, and I don't drop videos there, but I watch a lot of stuff on it. Yeah.
But all right, folks, we out of here. Peace. Yeah, I think I'm gonna.